y'all, it's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl. And over here, I like to focus on all things vinyl, sublimation, and screen printing. I don't focus on perfection because without mistakes, how else are you supposed to learn anything? I have over 15 years of professional experience, if you like to call it that. So you might see things done a little bit differently than what you're used to. I also have epilepsy and they're still adjusting my medication, so you might see me stumble over my words or completely mess them up. I might miss a step or forget to edit something out in post, so please forgive me. I also like to be completely honest and transparent. So if that seems like something you're into, then why don't you think about joining the Cuttin Corners family? If not, then why don't you buzz on, because my honeybees have a real sting to them. Today's tutorial is working on extremely complex SVGs. One, how to work with them if you're wanting to deal with the extremely complex, but also how to pare them down if you're not wanting to. Now, this is the April 2022 Patreon kit tutorial, but this also goes hand in hand if you're not a Patreon supporter. So you can still do these steps if you're not on Patreon. You can be a Patreon supporter if you want to, but you don't have to. So the next portion of this, if you don't want to be a Patreon supporter, just kind of skip over. It's that simple. But if you're wanting to find out more, then keep on watching. Okay, so for my Patreon supporters, or if you're interested, this month's kit, as you know, we kind of change things around. We have the domestic level and the international. Shipping's gone up, so we have two different levels. And then we also have changed it up where we have two different kits at both levels. We have the shirt and the vinyl only. So if you choose the shirt level, you get the shirt and 5 pieces of vinyl. And then if you choose the vinyl only, you get 10 pieces of vinyl. So we'll kind of go over both. So if you choose the shirt version, so you'll get, which both levels are, for the domestic level, it's $45 for the shirt and the vinyl. For the international, it's $55 for the shirt and the vinyl. And all of the SVGs are included for all the levels. And on Patreon, there's more than just these levels. You can get the SVGs at pretty much every Patreon supporter, at every Patreon supporter level. So you don't have to just sign up for these. Just in case you're wondering. There's a ton of different Patreon supporter levels, and there's just more than just these SVGs. Also, I don't believe in just people supporting on Patreon without getting anything in return. Just in case you're wondering. So, we'll go over the vinyl colors. First off, in the shirt level, the shirt is a Tooltex Sunshine shirt. They come in the sizes small through 3X. Whenever you sign up for it, the automatic size is a large. If you need a different size, message me on Patreon with your chosen size. As I said, the default is a large. That's kind of how it goes. So the colors included for the shirt level are Thermaflex Plus Spring Green, which these are the same colors included in the vinyl side as well. You just get additional colors. Then you're going to get black and Deco Film Soft Metallic Rainbow Oil. Now this does look transparent, but once it's heated on, it is not. Rainbow Opaque White Glitter Flex Ultra. This you can also sublimate on. Thermaflex Plus, I got that backwards, Red. So those are the 5 colors in the shirt and vinyl. And then if you choose the vinyl kit only, You also get the chameleon glitter, and that's the blue color. This is so pretty. I don't know if you can see how it changes. Then you'll get the Pearl Flex purple, the Thermaflex Plus Columbia blue, the Thermaflex Plus white, and the Deco Sparkle silver. I try to include a variety of different vinyls in these, so that way it's kind of like a try me kit. And as you can see, they're full pieces, so you get a lot of variety so you can try it. So, give me a moment to change the camera angle and we will go over how to make this. So I am on my Patreon page, which is just www.patreon.com/BetsyGocher. So the file is, or the post is, April 2022 Patreon SVGs, which I have started tagging everything, which these are just hashtag SVG or April 2022 kit. So I'm going to download the 3/19/2022 My Greatest Gifts. So as you can see, when I click that link, it goes up to the top and downloads. Now I'm going to click on Cricut Design Space, and we're going to go over here to upload. Now I did just get a new silhouette, and I will do some tutorials with it, but we've got to get all the software and stuff loaded on my Mac, which will take some time. Got to make sure everything works with Mac, or the Apple silicon. There we go. So these are saved on my desktop. Normally I'd go to my downloads, but there are several files and I wanted to show you the pictures. So we've got the Born to Teach, there you go, the Beach Vibes, the Summer Lovin', the Be Quiet or Be Nice, the Cinco de Mayo, and the My Greatest Gifts. Now this file was designed so you can change it, and I'm going to show you both ways. So I'm going to take and select it and go to upload. Now we are going to work with this one at a time, so I'm going to select upload, add to canvas. There we go. Now this does take a while because this is a beast of a file. It is massive, just to kind of forewarn you, because it is a 10-color design. It's a lot. So I'll show you it pared down first, because that's going to be the easiest one to work with, and the one that's going to be the one we're going to do the most edits to. So that's kind of where we'll go from there. Okay, so this is what we're working with. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and ungroup it, because we don't need the yellow background. That was just saved on there so you could kind of see it. So let's go ahead and delete that. Again, we're not going to need the word mom, because we're going to change this. And this was designed so you could take and change it to whatever name you're wanting to do. Because we're going to make this one for my mother-in-law. You know, we're going to change this to say Granny. So I like how that looks. Let's go ahead and move that over just a little bit more. I like how that looks. Now she's not always the biggest fan of green, so we're going to change the green letter, the spring green, to be the same color as that cerulean. And we're going to go ahead and weld those together. There's no point not doing that. Yeah, there we go. So you see, now we're going to kind of pare these colors down. Now, my mother-in-law is not the biggest fan of holographic, so this right here, this lighter gray shade that's in here, is that holographic. So we're going to change this to be the same shade as this. And we're going to change that white glitter to be the same shade as well. Change all of that gray, or all of the white, to be that same dark gray, which is that rainbow oil. I think that'll look nice and pretty. And then that way everything is all kind of cohesive, and then that limits our colors down as well. You kind of see what I'm saying? Everything's going to have that same kind of look. And I think I'm going to change that red, because you see now that red kind of looks a little bit off the wall to be in that kind of same color story. Now let's go ahead and type out green. Now the font that I used was Cooper Black. Cooper Black is a good basic font. To me, it's, you know, Cooper Black is, as I said, it's a good basic font that you can use for just about anything. It's nice, it's bold, it's easy to read, and that's something that is very easy to work with. And plus, it's something that everybody has. That's part of the reason why I chose it. So I went and unchecked only kerned fonts. So we're going to type in Cooper Black. Now, depending on the size word that you use, you will have to make adjustments. Now, you can choose to do a different font if you want. Again, Cooper Black is definitely one I like to use. And they make it in different versions, as you can see. I'm wanting to make it go in more, but I want to make it taller. See what I'm saying? I want the letters shorter, but taller. Because I don't want it to be too wide on the shirt, but I still want it to have a nice height about it. So I like how that looks. So let's go ahead and change this color, because I want it to be in that chameleon glitter. So I like how that looks. So we're going to go ahead and weld that together, because I do want to outline this. So we're going to go ahead and give it our offset. Oh, really, Bubba? He likes to chew on his toys at the most inopportune moment, as you can tell. We love him though. Always, always. And you can do this with pretty much any SVG. You can take and make anything your own. It's just taking the colors that you like and changing it. You don't have to go with any colors that you don't like. You can change text. You can slice things out. You can make changes. Just because you get an SVG doesn't mean you have to keep it the way that it is. Like, if I don't like the file the way that it is, I can change it. It's really not all that hard. Let's back up, because we're going to leave this on here. And we're going to upload this same file again, because we're going to do the same thing, kind of. This one we're not going to be doing as much editing to, but we're still going to be doing some editing. So as you can see, this has a lot of colors. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As I said, it's got a lot of colors, and we're going to leave all of those colors. People want a challenge. Why? Sometimes I'm not always so sure, but you do. So let's make it challenging. I want to go ahead and change, instead of doing the center part black, I do want to change this to be just solid regular white. Why? I don't know. I didn't want, like, I wasn't sure whenever I designed this what I wanted to do, so we're going to change this. So I do want to go ahead and slice this. Sometimes I change my mind over exactly what I want things to do. You know, I go through these phases. I don't know if y'all are that way, but I do, where it's like, oh, this is what I want. No, this is what I want. So this is what I want. I want it to be this. So I'm going to change this to be the black. So this is what we're going to do. And then this one, we're going to change it to be, I'm going to change it to a different color because this flower right here is actually going to be that rainbow white glitter. And I don't want it to be to confuse myself. So I'm going to change that to just a different shade of gray. And I do want to go ahead and make this just a tad bit bigger before I do weld this together, because I want the text just to be a tad bit bigger. Now we got to send everything to cut. Now we do want to make sure everything's mirrored. Now remember, depending on what type of vinyl you use, you do need to remember to swap your settings. Now some of these are glitters, some of them aren't, some of them are very special, some of them aren't. So you need to remember to check your settings for each and every single one. I'm not going to tell you for each vinyl which one to use, but like for the chameleon glitter, that one you're going to need to remember to check for your settings. That one's a extremely special one. That one is probably the one that I'll show you because that one's the most difficult one. This one is the one that's going to be the hardest to cut out of all of them. So I will show you for that one. Definitely the hardest out of all of them. Sorry, lost all train of thought. So typically what I will do for this one is I will choose either like a heavy cardstock for my settings. But again, you'll want to play around with this one because it is such a thick material. And I'll typically choose something like that and then choose a more pressure. But again, test. It will depend on if you have a newer blade, that type of thing as well. Do test cuts, like cut little circles, see if it weeds, if it doesn't, because each machine cuts differently depending on what blade you're using. Again, it kind of all varies. Once you get your settings right, it does beautifully. But again, it varies. That's just my recommendations. It looks absolutely stunning on. I love the way that it looks, but you need to learn to play with it. Even like the manufacturer, it says to kind of play with your settings. Everything kind of varies. Because even like your blades, the duller they get, which mine, I tend to go through a lot of blades, you know, and because it is a thicker material and it has glitter particles in it, that's part of the reason why I always recommend going and testing it, because the glitter particles will dull your blade faster than others. So if you'll give me a moment, we'll get all this vinyl cut and I'll show you how to apply it. Now it is time to go ahead and put these shirts together. Now, I did end up making some changes after the fact because you know me, I like to make changes. Now, these did take me an astronomical amount of time because with my brain not wanting to work, my hands being shaky, everything like that, it is very difficult for me to get through a tutorial. Now, again, this is like putting together a puzzle. Now, one thing I always do when I do a very complex design, and I do have this on 8x speed, is I do print out a picture. It makes it a whole lot easier to follow along. Now, I cut things apart. I put this together like a puzzle. Now, I have the solid black piece and I'm just trimming around my pieces and putting it together like a puzzle. Now, I have this set on the 320 degrees for the 15 seconds because I'm starting off with my Thermoflex Plus. Now, I'm not doing all the pieces at once. I'm just putting together some of the pieces that aren't touching at first, and I'm going to do this in sections. So as I said, I have this video set on 8x speed, so it goes a lot faster. You would be surprised on how long this actually took me. I had to stop and start filming several times because I had to change the GoPro battery, had to change the memory card because this took a very, very, very long time. Because I kept bumping things. Very, very long time. Very, very long time. But we got it finished. This was very bad. And I'm struggling, guys, but I'm still trying to get things done. Please, please, please stick with me. Hopefully we will get this medicine thing situated soon. I appreciate and love all of you who have stuck by me through all of this. I know it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy on all of you. It hasn't been easy on me, but you know, it really does mean a lot. But what I'm doing is I'm going for all of the higher temperature colors first, and then we will go to the lower temperatures. And even though this is taking a long time, it's worth it in the end. Now, one of the things you can do is you can do this where you peel the vinyl off and you stick it to the same piece as the black, which works great if your vinyl underneath your carrier sheet is sticky enough. I just didn't want to fool with that today. I didn't have enough patience to deal with that. But, you know, again, if you have the patience to deal with that, that's on you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But some of these more special vinyls, like the Chameleon Glitter, is a very thick vinyl. I didn't want to have to worry about that. And also with that, the Rainbow Opaque Glitter White, I didn't want to mess with it because, again, that's a thicker vinyl. So it's a little bit more difficult to deal with. And because this has so many colors and I'm such a perfectionist, that's part of the reason why this took so long. You can see that I'm sitting there finagling with the colors to make sure it's perfect underneath. If you're not such a perfectionist, it might not take you so long, but I am quite a bit of a perfectionist. And one of the things you could do too, if you wanted to try it, is you can take and set, whenever you go to cut your vinyl, you could set your Cricut or your Silhouette to cut a little bit deeper where it cut all the way through. My camera battery died and I actually was able to set the camera up at a better angle. We are going to move the tripod so I can get a better angle when I'm lining these things up so you can see it a little bit better. But you could get it to cut a little bit deeper to line it up a little bit easier, just in case you're wondering. So that is an option for you. But that's the Deco Film Rainbow Oil. I really love how that looks. And one of the things I do end up doing, and you're going to see it after the fact, is I decided after I got this shirt finished and looking at it to change and cover the mom in the Deco Film Rainbow Oil, as you can see, because I felt like it needed something else, but I did get a little, I didn't cover that edge of the O, but look how pretty that looks with it. I really, really like how that came out. I just wish I would have lined it up a little bit better, but doesn't that look so good? I decided to swap from the yellow to this purple shirt. I would have rather a lighter colored shirt, but this is what I had at my house. Once I saw what it looked like on the yellow with and without the white backing, I decided to cut white for behind it because I liked it better with the white background. I thought it popped a little bit more. I would have preferred to have a lighter colored blue or purple shirt, but this is what I had at my house. So this is what I decided to do. Now, I am going ahead and putting the black outline on here because this is such a dark colored shirt and a lot of the colors that are going on this are a darker shade. This was going to be the easiest way for me to see it because if not, I didn't want to make the darker special colors not stand out. This was what was going to make those colors pop the most, especially with my eyesight not being the best. I would rather the black lose some of the definition over the special colors, if that makes sense. If I were going to be off with lines, I would rather be off with the outlines than with the special shades. Because as I said, my eyesight is not the best. So if you see any funky, like where the angles pop or change, that's because the camera battery died or the memory card had to be changed. I had to pull the GoPro off. That's just what happens. I can't help much of that. And, you know, it is what it is. And most of the colors, unless it's the Deco Film Soft Metallic or the Pearl Flex, everything else is in the 320 to 330 degrees or the Deco Sparkle. Everything else, like the Deco Sparkle, the Deco Film Soft Metallic, and the Deco Pearl, or the Pearl Flex, those three are the 305 and 300 degrees. Everything else is 320 to 330 degrees. Let me rephrase that. The Thermaflex Plus, the Chameleon, the Glitterflex Ultra, those are 320 to 330 degrees. The Deco Film Soft Metallic, the Pearl Flex, and the Deco Sparkle are 305 to 300 degrees. That makes more sense. But yeah, this, I really loved how it came out. Just wish I would have had just a slightly lighter shirt. I think it would have turned out just a little bit more appealing. Now, I did end up having to cut a lot of this apart that I normally wouldn't have because just my eyesight, and I can't see those lines as well as I'd like. I hope soon that I can kind of get things back to normal. It will be so much better once that happens. And at this point, you will see that my camera battery, I think it was either my camera battery, I think it was my camera battery. Either that or the memory card got full. So I did end up sticking part that was already lined up in between that because I didn't want it to move if the dogs jumped up there and then have to like reline all that up, because that was the longest part of this, because this is kind of like putting together a puzzle. And I am using that cooling stone that I got from Amazon. It is linked in the Amazon cart, or not the Amazon cart, my Amazon store. That is an affiliate link. If you use it, I do earn a small commission. But I do love how this turned out. I really love this color scheme. That's what it looks like. I did edit this picture so you could see the colors better in case you're wondering. But I think it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below. But I guess that's it, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!